Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be walking through your HotKey Deck on ZeroPro. So what exactly is the HotKey Deck? So your HotKey Deck is a reusable arrangement of the hotkey buttons. So any criteria that you input for a specific hotkey that you script out, that information will go into a hotkey button that you can place on your market def montage. So let's take a look at how that works. So you're gonna, of course, go to your hotkey configuration screen, which is going to be located in your quick access group at the very top of your ZeroPro platform. Right now we're inside of the HotKey Deck. Under your hotkey buttons, this is where you're going to create the button first, initially, and then we're going to rearrange them here in this section under the HotKey Deck preview, all right? So let's create our first hotkey button. The first hotkey button that I'm going to try to create here is going to be a liquidate all, or AKA panic button. So under liquidate all, we're gonna change the description here, and I'm just gonna name it panic button. All right, and we're gonna give it a keyboard shortcut. I'm gonna have it for Control P. So we're going to change our percentage of position to 100%. Then we're going to change our route over to sim, since this is a simulated version. All right, yours may say something different. It may say smart if you're running this from a live account. Now into this section, we're going to do liquidate all positions, but we can also choose from stocks only and liquidate options only. We're going with liquidate all positions. Now we're going to make this a system-wide hotkey. This is not something that you necessarily have to do. It's really up to your preferences. So for more information on how to set up hotkeys and what this actually does and what it means, make sure you guys go check out our latest hotkey video. So now in this section under the hotkey button options, you can see that we can create a caption for it, but then we can also change the font, we can change the caption color, we could also change the button color. All right, so I'm just gonna rename this caption over here to panic button. All right, and then I'm probably just gonna change the font. Let's change this to this here. Hit OK. All right, so we see that the text is cut off a little bit, so we're just gonna decrease. Hit OK. All right, and then we're probably gonna change the color too. All right, let's change it to yellow. All right, awesome. All right, so we have our panic button there. So all we need to do now is just hit apply. So that way it saves. We can see that panic button populate right here. All right, so now let's take a look at creating another hotkey. So now that we have this already set, we want to make sure that we click on create new hotkey. If you don't click on create new hotkey, you may overwrite what's already existing or what you already created, okay? So let's click create new hotkey. Let's hit action. Then we're gonna go into setup or send order. For the description, we're gonna name it buy 100. Keyboard shortcut, we're gonna put Control B. Now let's change all this information here. We're gonna change our side to sell. Quantity type for shares, quantity of 100. Order type, we're gonna do limit. Route, sim, time and force, price source, ask. And then we're gonna have a price offset at -0.05. Okay, cool. So now we can change our hotkey button options. So for this one, we're gonna name it buy 100. We can give this a different button color. Since we're buying, we're gonna keep the context and make it green. Then we can change the caption color. Change the caption color over to white. Awesome. All right, hit apply. And now we have our buy 100 hotkey. And let's do one last one, right? Let's create a setup or send order. Okay. And let's make this a sell order. So we're gonna change our description over to sell 100. Let's do shares. Let's go for 100 on quantity. Order type, we're gonna put it as a market order. Route, we're gonna change it to sim. Time and force, we're gonna use day. Let's make it an auto send order. All right. So again, what we're doing is changing our caption. We're gonna change this to sell 100. Awesome. And now we're going to change our button color to red. And it looks good. So let's go on ahead and hit apply. And now we have 3 useful hotkey buttons. Now we can go on ahead and add it to the montage. All right, so now inside of your HotKey Deck section, this tab here at the top left, all right, it's gonna be your second tab next to your hotkey buttons. With this, what you'll be able to do is rearrange all of the hotkey buttons that you just previously created, and you're gonna add them to the grid, however you like to see them, all right? So we're just gonna start by clicking and dragging over our hotkey buttons from the hotkey button catalog and into the HotKey Deck preview, all right? So we're gonna wait for that ad to populate, and go ahead and release the mouse. Then we're gonna add another, all right? Then we're gonna add our last one, and there it is. So now, if you wanted to remove a hotkey button, just click and drag it out of the grid, right? That's how you can remove. All right. Now this here under your HotKey Deck name, it's set at default, but what you can do with this is you can create multiple HotKey decks. So this helps out with a lot of flexibility if you have different presets or different grids rather to choose from. We're gonna keep it at default, but you can create a new one by clicking on new. You can even edit it, you can copy, or you can remove, all right? This area down here under the HotKey Deck appearance settings, you can adjust the HotKey Deck appearance of the spacing. You could also change the background color if you like. You could show grid lines, or you can remove the grid lines, however you want. You could also show outlines. This kind of makes the border a little bit thicker, all right? And then we're just gonna hit apply, and then hit close. So now we see that our buttons appear inside of the montage, right? So over here we have the wheel. That's where you can also access your settings for your level 2 montage. All right, underneath this button section is where you'll have your hotkey decks. So you can switch them out to whatever presets that you've already previously saved, okay? And we have it on default, okay? Let's just hit apply here, hit okay. And now we can start using our hotkey buttons, right? So if I wanted to go on ahead and choose forward and buy 100, and now we see that that order here populates right underneath the pending order section, right? So that's executed perfectly fine, right? Now let's try to make this a market order. Just hit the standard buy button, right? Now we're inside of there. Now let's go on ahead and see if this sell 100 executes. So sell 100. And we see that the order has disappeared from our portfolio and into the order history. All right, cool. Now let's make a few orders here. So we're gonna buy at market for Ford, and then we're gonna buy at market on Bank of America, 100 shares. Now let's execute our panic button, which should send out a market order for both of these orders at once. So panic button. Get this little confirmation here. Are you sure you want to liquidate all positions by 100%? We're just going to hit yes. And there you have it. All positions fully liquidated out of the portfolio. And that's pretty much it. That's how you set up your HotKey Deck.